Here's everything I picked up this week. Starting with toys, this came out a while ago, but I am just now picking up the Neca Dungeons & Dragons Zarak. So as you can see, he got pretty decently discounted, and my Edge 15% off was also put towards this, and then I had a gift card. But then after all the discounts, he was only like 30 bucks, and that's pretty good for a Neca release. Just a little goblin dude. I know nothing about the lore of these guys, but I'm a big Dungeons & Dragons fan, and I'm always looking for some swords and sorcery types. So, good add to the collection. Then this just came in the other day. This was the Amazon exclusive Marvel Legends Gamerverse Kingpin, as he appeared in Spider-Man PS4. So this Kingpin, he's a rather large fellow. I quite like that grinning face he has. And I am going to try head swaps with the old Build-A-Figure Kingpin, because I do think his heads are too big here. Yeah, if you look on how he looked in the game, he just has a large dome here, and I'm not quite about that. Then GameStop finally got in my pre-order of Miles Morales Spider-Man. I was worried that they were never gonna give this to me, so good on you, GameStop. You came through with Spider-Man. You did not come through with ROM Space Knight, who I am still missing. So I am still trying to source another ROM, because I don't think my GameStop pre-order is coming in for that one. So we'll see what happens. But still, it's a pretty good looking Miles. People have been griping that he's shorter than the previous Miles releases, but Miles, he's like 12 or 11 in that first Spider-Man run. So I like that you can have a nice little growth for him, because he does get taller. They do show that he's taller now than he was when he first appeared. Then I got a decent amount of G.I. Joes. First up here is Darklon, who I believe is Destro's cousin or something. He's ruler of Darklonia, I think. My knowledge on G.I. Joe lore, incredibly shaky. But in the recent comic, Destro did Iron Mask, like heat the mask onto Darklon's face, and I was like, dang, that's pretty hardcore, Destro. And I am collecting the Iron Grenadiers, so Grenadiers, let me know how it's pronounced, but I'm trying to get that team as they come. And he comes with a sick metal beard head. Looking closer at it, it's not even a beard, that's a tongue sticking out of the helmet, wowee. Then is a character who I find absolutely hilarious. It is Dr. Mindbender. So of course, he's Master of Mind Control, most evil guy ever, and that obviously means he needs to wear a monocle and a Borat swimsuit over his pants, along with a classic villain twirled mustache. This is the stuff I love from G.I. Joe, when it's just, they look so ridiculous and silly, and that's when it's fun. I'm not super into the military aspect, I'm into the fun, silly, goofy guys. Then finally, I got Rock and Roll here, who I pre-ordered because he was a main in the comic when that new comic launched. He was a main member of Duke's new Joe team. But then, spoiler, he died in like issue 1 or 2, so like, dang. Poor Craig Rock and Roll McConnell. Still, I want toys of that main team from the current comic, so I'll take a Rock and Roll. Then for comics, starting with my monthlies from 204 Comics, I got Transformers issue 22, The Power Fantasy issue 10, Radiant Black issue 35. I doubled down on the Marvel swimsuit special. I tried to be strong, but then there was an Adam Hughes A cover and then a Mark Brooks variant cover. I folded. I'm sorry, team. I folded here. I doubled down on the Marvel swimsuit special. Then we got Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 2, the relaunch of Fantastic Four with a fresh number 1, Magic issue 7. This is going to be my last, maybe second last issue of this series, as I am now dropping it. Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman issue 2. Here she is with Jason Todd Robin. This should be a fun issue. Green Lantern Corps issue 6, Aquaman issue 7, and Action Comics issue 1088, continuing the adventures of Superboy, Superman, when he was a boy. Then for trades, I don't often buy new trades. I usually get them used off of Facebook or the comic book store, wherever. But I did get this 0 Hour trade new at 204 because a lot of the DC stuff I have been reading lately is directly after 0 Hour, and 0 Hour is relevant to it, so I was like, I guess I might as well read 0 Hour. So I do need to get the second, and this is part 1, I do need to get part 2 soon. But I don't know a ton about 0 Hour. I have read the issue where Golden Age, Silver Age Alfred showed up when Modern Alfred was gone. I read that semi recently. But yeah, so 0 Hour part 1. And then the rest of these I did buy used on Facebook. So we got Daredevil Ultimate Collection by Bendis and Malieve. This is number 1. Got this for $5, and the thing with this run is that Bendis's run started on 16 to 19, which they have here. But 1 to 15, that's when they introduced Echo and just other stuff like that I'm pretty sure this builds upon. So I do want to see that collected soon, or recollected, but yeah. So hopefully that happens. Volume 1 of the New 52 Batman Incorporated. This was a direct continuation of Grant Morrison's pre-52 Batman Incorporated work. So I want to finish my Grant Morrison Batman collection. So now the only Grant Morrison Batman piece I am missing is volume 2 of this. So I'll probably end up buying that for more than however I got this for like $10. So I'll get that for more probably, just to finish up the series. And then finally, I got Batman Whatever Happened to the Caped Crusader. I just recently read Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, and that was a fantastic story. So this has some big shoes to fill and to live up to, big legacy to live up to. I have seen the pages of this where Alfred is revealing that he's the Joker and stuff. It doesn't look the greatest, but I shall form an opinion on it. Now to discuss last week's comics. So Batgirl, I am quite enjoying this arc. They introduced Jade Tiger, the secret brother of Cassandra Cain, son of Lady Shiva and Bronze Tiger. And something about this art is just really good, this arc. They changed artists from the previous arc, and look at that. Just Cass riding a horse, it looks nice. The series is a sleeper hit, I gotta say. The Hellfire Vigil had a lot of, yeah, it was fine, I guess, but I don't know. There's Grey Milk in prison, which Cyclops and friends know has Blob and Siren, Teresa Cassidy, but they're not breaking out Teresa, and they've let her become brainwashed into a hound, which I don't think they would let her be like that. She's always getting done dirty. And then, like, Madrox had a baby with her. I don't see him leaving her to be tormented in this prison either. And then also, they show that her dad, Banshee, knows she's in this prison and is leaving it be. So, like, I know Grey Milk in prison is driving a lot of narrative things right now, but it doesn't make sense in world, because previously Cyclops was okay with it because they were able to keep Professor X in there, and the X-Men didn't have the means to keep Professor X imprisoned anywhere. But well, Professor X isn't in prison now, so I don't know why. Like, I guess because of government lashing back, I don't know. And then they arrested Dazzler in front of a mutant crowd and this and everything, and it's not working for me. This was arguably the best issue of Godzilla Versus so far. It just had a big cosmicness to it. Godzilla got Gore's all-black Necro Sword symbiote whatever going on. It was cool stuff. And then Thor and Godzilla both die, and they're fighting forever in the afterlife now. It was metal AF. Another sleeper hit with Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. So he's been getting a power-up each issue of some kind, and this time he got the powers of the Fantastic Four and Super Skrull. So I guess he just got the powers of Super Skrull, because I do think he can shapeshift as well. So now he has the Fantastic Four powers, the Skrull powers, Hulk Gamma, the Venom symbiote, Captain America's shield, magic that he learned from Magic, and then in this one he also got the Mjolnir of a zombie Thor. So he's quite the force to be reckoned with now. Good stuff. So I don't know how much classic Thor you may have read. So Thor has had two secret identities in the past. He was Donald Blake, but Donald Blake was like a separate guy because he didn't look like Thor and he had a doctorate and whatever. So he kind of wasn't Thor, he was like a separate entity, and then during a previous Thor run they got separated, and then in another previous Thor run, Donald Blake was like an evil guy. But then after Thor was done being Donald Blake in the Walt Simonson run, his civilian identity became Sigurd Jarlsson, and that guy was just straight up Thor with the ponytail and glasses. He meets Clark Kent and stuff. And that's a good story, that's a good run. And this has a little follow-up to that, because this is the Immortal Thor, the last issue of that, and the next month he's the Mortal Thor, and the very end of this, Thor is fully mortal again, doesn't remember anything about Asgard, and then this god thing asks, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Sigurd Jarlsson." Oh, good stuff. Captain America by Chip Zdarsky was pretty fire. So the thing with Captain America is that you want the stories to be political and timely and whatever. And then during the 1950s and 60s, in the 1950s, they were still publishing Captain America stories as though he'd never got suspended in animation or whatever, because that was a story written later. So then they retconned those 50 stories to be, oh, that was a different guy as Captain America. So now Captain America had stories relating to 9/11 and the War on Terror, but that doesn't work with Marvel's sliding timescale anymore. So Chip Zdarsky introduced a new Captain America guy, and I'm thinking that they'll do the same thing like they did with those 50s what are those guys' names? Jack Monroe was the Bucky, I think. I don't remember those guys' names. So then I guess that'll be the Captain America from those stories now, I think. That would be pretty neat if that's what they're doing. And then they had a good monologue about being a murderer and stuff at the beginning of this. This was a great first issue. Avengers ended their Masters of Evil story. It was just okay, I don't have much more to say about it. Though I did see in the solicitations that in an issue or two-ish from now, I don't know, they're fighting the Marvel Zombies, and I was just on a big Marvel Zombies kick, so I feel rewarded. Wolverines and Deadpool's issue 1, a good start to this. Just Wolverine and Deadpool bonding as girl dads and stuff. Then Ellie and Laura bond too. But Laura talks to Wolverine like she hasn't met Deadpool, but she did meet Deadpool in All New Wolverine because Gabby and Deadpool are really good friends. Did Deadpool just meet Gabby? I've read that. Did he just meet Gabby? It doesn't seem like he must have met Laura too. Let me know if I'm wrong. So there's everything I picked up this week. Let me know what you're reading and what you want to see reviewed first.